first week of free agency is in the books, and yes, it's good to be back doing videos. Me and the wife were sick for the last couple of days, so I do apologize, but it's good to be back. Good to have the taste and smell back and all that stuff, from a cold. Yes, it's probably COVID, but we're good to know our quarantine period is over, and we're ready to get back to it. So today we are doing a 2023 Arizona Cardinals free agency recap. We're going to be doing all 32 NFL teams, and how can you do a free agency recap without, yes, it's just a business. So just a recap, Monsters versus Aliens, and if you weren't thinking of it, you're lying to yourself because you were definitely thinking of it. So today we're going over the Arizona Cardinals and talking about players that they added, players that they lost, and players that, hey, they maintained. Hey, here we go. So the Cardinals currently cap space sitting at just over $23 million, and things are looking pretty good. I think they could still make some new moves in free agency, and do some pretty interesting things, but we're going to have to see how that all unfolds. So first off, who did you lose? Well, you lost cornerback Byron Murphy to the Vikings on a 2-year, $22 million deal to the Vikings. That more specifically looks like it's going to be about a $17.5 million deal for a 2-year deal there, before incentives and all that other stuff. So we'll just have to see how that all plays out. But he had 36 tackles last year for the Cardinals, had a couple of interceptions, 4 passes defensed, or pass breakups, if you will, as well as a 66.7 PFF grade. So overall, very solid corner for the Cardinals. Was a little puzzling. I felt like the Cardinals definitely could have matched that. Probably the most puzzling move for the Cardinals this offseason. But hey, I think that Monty Austin-Fort and company, they've got their eyes set on a lot of different areas they want to improve. So maybe going and addressing corner in the draft is a move they're probably going to want to do. Now, Cody Ford signed a 1-year deal with the Bengals. Sorry, I forgot to include the Bengals part, but hey, it's going to be one of those deals where, he was a depth piece. He was an okay offensive lineman, played 350 snaps last year for the Cardinals, had 2 penalties, allowed 3 sacks, had a 41.2 PFF grade. At the very least, he's going to be a very good depth piece for the Bengals. And for the Cardinals, he was pretty much just that as well. But then, yes, another big loss. You lost defensive lineman Zach Allen on a 3-year, $47.5 million deal with the Broncos. I think it's only just over $30 million in guarantees. So definitely a loss for this Arizona Cardinals defense, though. You're talking about a guy that had 47 total tackles, 5.5 sacks, and did have a 72.7 PFF grade. They pretty much let Draymond Jones walk and go to the Seahawks, which was a little shocking because I felt like Draymond Jones definitely had a lot to offer the Broncos, but they went with the direction of Zach Allen instead, who looks like he is on the come up. So that's going to be very exciting for them. New additions. So they took Kaiser White away from the Eagles on a 2-year, $11 million deal, had 110 tackles for the former NFC champions last year, also had a sack and a half, was a guy that, quite honestly, he was a leader on that defense. He flies around, makes plays. I think he's going to make a great addition to the Cardinals defense now. And then, yes, Hajalte Forhold, I know I'm not even close to pronouncing that correct. I think he's from Denmark. That's pretty interesting. But he's coming over from the Browns. He signed a 2-year, $4.6 million deal. I'm really excited about this. I think he's going to be a guy that at the very least gives you a great backup piece for your offensive line, but hey, I love it. Played 519 snaps for the Browns last year, had 5 penalties, allowed 7 sacks, and had overall a 61.4 PFF grade. But again, I do think he's a very good solid depth piece and somebody you can build around and at least have come in an emergency and play admirably. And then finally, Kevin Strong coming over from the Titans, a little bit of familiarity there with Monty Austin-Fort, so hey, I like the deal here, a 1-year deal. Looks like it's, I haven't found the exact numbers on it, but I would guess it's most likely just a 1-year deal, veteran minimum $1.08 million, or maybe just a bit above that. But hey, you like what he did for the Titans last year. He brings a little bit of versatility. I think he can play inside, outside, but had 23 tackles, had 12 pressures, and as well as a 59.5 PFF grade. So solid depth piece along the defensive line there. So I like to see it. And then it's all about, hey, who did you keep? So you re-signed running back Corey Clement there, 1-year deal, $1.08 million deal. Had 15 carries for 55 yards and a touchdown, as well as 5 catches for 54 yards. Good depth piece running back, maybe gives you a little bit of a shot in the arm when you need it. You also kept Calvin Beachum, 2-year deal, $5.15 million. Played admirably for you last year at tackle, over 1,100 snaps. Did have 7 penalties and 5 sacks, but over a 70.0 PFF grade. I love it, keeping a very good tackle in the building for you on a relatively cheap deal. Also yes, keeping Will Hernandez in on a 2-year, $9 million deal where he played over 840 snaps for you last year, as well as had 7 penalties and 3 sacks and a 65.4 PFF grade. And then you also sign linebacker, or re-sign rather, linebacker Ezekiel Turner on a 1-year, $1.8 million deal. Special teamer, a guy that's going to fly around, make plays. Overall, you love to see it because I think that, there's going to be, definitely a need for Ezekiel Turner, who actually did play pretty respectfully and when he was on defense for the Cardinals. I think he only played like 11% of their defensive snaps, but hey, it's a start. 22 total tackles, including that start, had a 63.6 PFF grade. And then, yes, you bring back Matt Prater. Love it. 2-year, $7.5 million deal. Overall, I'm really excited about this. I feel like he's still got a lot of leg left. 22 of 25 on field goals last year. That's like 88%. That's pretty good. Better than most of my high school grades. But 17 of 18 on the extra points. Also had a long of 57. So you see the Cardinals here and pretty much everybody else, they would go ahead. And I also forgot to mention, yes, they also did bring back Greg Dortch on a 1-year deal. And they also tendered, what is it? Exclusive rights free agent Jonathan Ledbetter. So hey, you keep those guys in the building. You do lose a lot of other pieces, guys like Trace McSorley, who are currently free agents, Darrell Williams, Phillip Cooper, Stephen Anderson, Max Williams, Rashad Coward, as well as Max Garcia, Sean Harlow, Joshua Miles, Billy Price, Justin Pugh, as well as Michael Dogby, Tristan Hill, Camus Grugier Hill, Ben Neiman, who came over from the Chiefs last year. Also Tanner Vallejo, Nick Vigil, Antonio Hamilton, Josh Jackson, Charles Washington, Aaron Brewer, and Andy Lee. Oh yeah, David Blount and Antonio Wesley, as well as Jace Whitaker. All those guys still currently unre-signed, but or at least going to be hitting the free agent market, but we'll see how that all ends up. But yes, still free agency still going. We've still got about a month before the draft, so there's some things that the Cardinals could do, especially with over $23 million in cap space. I think it's going to be interesting to see what they do to shore up some key positions here. But that's it. That is our 2023 Arizona Cardinals free agency recap. So, just to recap, let us know what you guys think. Make sure you guys like and subscribe down below. Leave a like and a comment. It helps people find the show. We greatly appreciate all the support that we've gotten and continue to get. You guys are all truthfully awesome. We love every single one of you. Down in the description below, you'll find all of our social media platforms. So give us a like and a follow there. Also, remember to give us a listen and sub on iTunes. And finally, if you have anything else you'd like us to cover, send us an email at thesportsbp@yahoo.com. Or put in the comment section down below, and we would love to cover it. But let us know what you guys think about our 2023 Arizona Cardinals free agency recap.